All right. Is there a visual on there with your hands doing
No,
that?
there wasn't.
Like, we need to get a fucking clapboard. I'll make one or something. Jeez.
You ain't making a clapboard.
Why wouldn't
I can't even get a collage of all our flyers?
Listen, I already told you about that. It's a fucking like out that like in order the way for me to do that the right way will take me like an hour and a half. I'll do it, but I already did it once and then fucking resized the other one wrong, so I don't want to go back and have to restart the whole process. Anyways, doors at 7, kitchen at 9. I'm James. This is not Chris. So like fuck. 2 weeks in a row we have solo episodes. Like it's kind of like when Outkast recorded their fucking last double album, Speakerbox Love Below, where Andre and Big Boy each did their like own album.
Are you guys not getting along?
No, we're getting along great. Actually, you know what it is? Chris is in the studio right now recording his backup One Way Terror vocals.
And he didn't even tell us about it.
He wants to surprise you. He wants to he wants to surprise you. He wants to fucking. He needs the blessings and confirmation.
Blessings and confirmation.
But anyways, I'm Andre. He can be Big Boy. Like Andre's way cooler. So obviously. But so yeah, you guys recorded last week without me. Blame it on the emotional vulnerabilities couch here. And this week, before we get into that, this week was going to be Chris's intervention episode too. So maybe that's why he's recording vocals.
Oh yeah,
and was trying to like
someone tipped him off and
trying to win like some bonus points and be like, I'm not as bad as I think.
I'm not as bad as I think. All right. Let's get out all the Chris hate, all the jabs.
No, there ain't no Chris hate, but there's some things I do want to talk about. After I watched last episode, I wasn't here. So for one, I think Chris is getting a little comfy in the captain's couch. You know, I spent like 3 episodes or whatever on the emotional vulnerabilities couch, and then I had to fucking take a week off due to fucking unstable mental health for a few days. True story. And I think it's emotional.
More unstable than normal. That's
what I mean. Yeah. No, like the already unstableness is normal. That's like the normal level, and then it fluctuates. So I'm thinking after watching last week's episode, which we call Dr. Feel Better because it would make a cool flyer, but I think we should have called it Amateur Hour. Because you guys had so many places you could have went with it and you didn't.
I just can't believe you had a week to think up of something and that's what you came up with was Amateur
No,
Hour.
I thought about this while I was sitting outside. Amateur Hour, I mean,
I don't know, I thought it was a pretty cohesive episode.
It was cohesive, but
I mean people are going to compare last week's episode and this week's episode.
Oh, I know. That's why I said that's why I said it was Amateur Hour right out the gate.
Oh shit.
And actually another thing I thought, like, come on, Chris, you sit here talk about sex dolls and fucking drugs. Like, we're gonna change the name of the show to fucking Use at 7, Re-Up at 9. Which is probably gonna happen if you sit on this couch any fucking longer. So, I thought of an idea on the way over here. We got 2 solo episodes. Whichever one gets the most likes and views in its first week of release, the winner gets to have the captain's couch back.
Oh, okay. That seems reasonable.
And we can talk about it like in private, how we want to run, if we want to promote it. Like I know, like you're not going to see this till Thursday, so that gives Chris like he can't sit there and just watch the episode and repeat all week long, so he can keep sitting in this couch. And then what's that?
Yeah, he might though.
Well, no, but by the time he hears it, his episode's week is already up.
All right.
And then I'll only watch the episode one time. Actually, if we send it on our Discord, I don't even have to watch it. I can just watch it when it's edited. And then none of my views will count. And he'll have at least one of my views on his video. So yeah, that's where we're at. Whoever's least entertaining or least watchable.
Least entertaining.
Has to be on the emotional vulnerabilities couch.
It's not who's the most entertaining in this fucking show. It's who's the least entertaining. We know it's bad. We just want to know who's the worst.
So yeah, I mean, you guys had a lot of things you could have did, and I was just like, eh.
You know what's going to be fun is like looking at YouTube because I can tell real-time views and see how many people like stopped watching right at that point.
I know, I was waiting to see the metrics on that. But don't worry, Daddy's back. And another thing we need to talk about is we're going to be taking a couple weeks off for the end of summer here. We got a few things we want to work on, but we're all crunched with time so bad that we only have this little block on a Monday, which kind of sucks that it's on a Monday. I liked it way better on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday was...
Like, Saturday morning, that was a whole fucking vibe right there. Now it's just like a fucking...
It's a good way to kick off the day, that's for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt. So, we only have a small amount of time to do some stuff. We got some things that we want to do, which we need to talk about this evening on a video chat of some of these things that we need to pull off. So we'll be taking a little bit of time off, let everybody get out and enjoy summer, and let the hosts of the show each have their own problems in life going on that they need to sort out as well, which hasn't affected too much quality content up to this point.
Yeah, it was never going to be quality content, so there was no degradation.
No, it actually works. And then, of course, let's hear some of the things we could have been talking about today, but we'll save it for when we come back and whatever. So now let's fucking kick off a show here. How you been? No, you want to know something?
Stumble through that.
No, that was a good deadpan right there. No, you want to hear something fucked up that happened to me at work the other day?
Yeah.
So I'm not proud to admit this, but I fucking did something that I'm like, man, I hope none of my friends find out. But
so now you're gonna tell everybody?
Well, yeah, because I don't have Chris here to fucking laugh at. So a couple weeks ago, we're getting crushed, and like no one brings music in, so I just pretty much control the music. But I'm pretty generous these days. When I was younger, I was like, you listen to whatever I want to listen to, fuck you. But I'm more like in keen other people's needs now that I'm older. So I keep it good for the most part, even though my coworkers' new favorite bands are Mighty Mighty Boss Tones and Turnstile. And they've been catching up on a lot of old Green Day lately for some reason.
Oof.
Yeah. Not oof.
I mean...
No, like I hit this like Green Day kick for some reason.
I feel like you could get all the Green Day you need after listening to that band for like 2 months.
Yeah.
And you kind of never have to listen to them again.
Or at least for a little while. I mean, it's obviously no secret of how much I loved them back in the 90s. But then after like a certain number of albums, I was kind of done with them because I just like, I get it, American Idiot, whatever, it's not my thing. Like, it's more for all the American idiots out there to listen to. But I just happen to be like caught in the YouTube tunnel, wormhole, whatever you want to call it. This is why I don't like smoking on fucking Monday nights. I say stupid shit and stumble over words, and then it ends up being on the fucking flyers of the name of the episode of the show.
Yeah, that's just Monday.
Monday. But I was like up doing the YouTube thing and come across this like early Green Day concert from '93, like right before Dookie was released, and they're playing at this club in Sacramento. It was fucking like one of the best shows I've seen of just anything. Like the energy, the stage performance, the songs, like. So I've kind of been on an old Green Day kick lately.
That's funny because my brother saw them in '94, like right when, like after they got popular, but they were still playing like college shows.
I saw them in '95.
Yeah.
That was my first show, actually.
It was like SUNY Albany, and he said like they were terrible.
Really?
Like, they were just trash. They were super drunk, couldn't play anything.
My very first concert was like November 17th or 18th, 1995, Green Day at fucking Niagara Falls Convention Center. It was right.
Brian, same first concert.
Yeah, it was. It was like literally like 3 weeks before we went to that fucking White Zombie Ramones concert.
Wiley.
So it was a good kickoff. But anyway, so I'm at work, and we're getting fucking crushed, and it's hot and miserable, and we've already determined that the restaurant industry fucking sucks to work in. So I get in a little pissy ass mood, which I don't normally do, but I'm like, I need a mood reset. So I throw on some fucking, like, Frank Sinatra about 6 o'clock, dinner time, and my coworkers look at me like, what the fuck did you just do? And I'm like, just for 10 minutes. I just need a mood reset. So I get the mood reset, throw some Lagwagon back on, get throughout the day. So the next time I show up for work, my manager, this in his 60s, whatever, likes metal and whatever, is like, as soon as I walk in the door, he's like, you're being punished today. I'm like, what the fuck am I being punished for? What did I do? He's like, because of the Frank Sinatra we had to listen to last week. So I'm like, well, what's the punishment? He's like, we got to listen to Nickelback.
Oh, that is...
Wait.
Wait a minute.
No.
That is not an equal and opposite punishment.
It's
that
not.
Is cruel and unusual.
And the thing is, because like the two main people I work with, a 65-year-old metal stoner dude and a 20-year-old college girl, somehow both like Nickelback. And I'm like, what the fuck? So we listened to like 2 songs, and then we made a compromise and listened to like 70s AM fucking soft rock, yacht rock fucking hits. That's how I got caught up in that shit for a little while, which I'm still in, but the Green Day kind of came in and swept it up. So more old Green Day than like Kenny Loggins and fucking Christopher Cross at the moment. But
God damn it, dude.
So that's my punishment. I'm at work the other day, and I walk in, and like my one dude's quitting. This other like dude I work with, he's quitting. Everybody's in a fucking foul ass mood, and I'm like, fuck, man, I don't like I said, I sat in this emotional vulnerabilities couch for a couple weeks, and then all of a sudden I have a little decline. So my PMA is increasing.
PMA?
Positive mental attitude. I just got done watching the Bad Brains documentary last night, so I'm full of PMA at the moment.
I'm glad you could find that before you said that.
Yeah, so, like, I didn't want, like, my whole energy being disrupted, so I'm like, what can I do to fucking break my coworkers out of the funk? So I said to them after being there for like 20 minutes, we're listening to some Guire at this point, because... Or no, actually, we started, my dude was leaving, so I put the Doors The End on and blasted it for like a half hour straight. Just for a fucking joke. And then I'm like, you know what? Don't tell anybody I ever fucking did this, because I'm going to deny it, even though I'm telling it here. I put on a Nickelback album for my coworkers to get them out of a funk, and listen to an entire fucking Nickelback album. And it was fucking weird. But I kind of understand a few things.
I mean, at this point, like, Chris could be on whatever he needs to be on. Like, you need the fucking intervention, dude. Like, you went fucking Kenny Loggins, Christopher Cross, Green Day to fucking Nickelback.
See what this fucking couch does? Like, it's not like I didn't do it for my own enjoyment. I did it to fucking better the people around me. Like, this is the
sounds like you're trying to convince yourself.
This is the sacrifice I'm willing to fucking make for the people around me to uplift themselves.
What album?
Okay, so it starts off, it's supposed to be like Nickelback's greatest hits, which is fucking terrible. I like put it on and I'm like,
wait a minute, they got a greatest hits album?
Yeah, they do.
That's bothersome. Okay.
Very bothersome. But I think it's something somebody just like a fan put together, because all of a sudden, like, Where the Streets Have No Name pop up like 5 songs in, and I'm like, alright, I can't do this anymore. Like, nothing against U2.
Well,
like,
you voluntarily listen to Nickelback, but when like U2 comes on, like that's where you draw the line.
It's not where, like, Zooropa is a fucking amazing album that nobody ever talks about.
I think
like,
Boy was. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
all those early albums, they were different. I mean, it was kind of like a different vibe for the time.
Yeah, but like Zooropa, like Achtung Baby came out, then Zooropa was like their peak. Like they went into this weird ass direction. Fucking, that was good. If Chris was here, we could talk more about it.
Yeah.
I feel like you were a fan of that album though too. And you don't want to talk about
it. Dude,
I
just remember when Achtung Baby came out, I was in like 7th or 8th grade, and I used to skip other classes and go to the band room, and then like Mr. Napoli had a VHS tape of different like videos.
Oh, was it that like Rattle and Hum video, their live video? That was
it was just like videos recorded off of MTV, like a mix, and so like we would just throw that in and watch that. And so Mysterious Ways was on there, so there's a lot of that.
And then that's when Bono started doing his characters, like he was the fucking devil, and like the Fly.
Yeah.
We should get Dave Ward on here to talk more about Bono. He could clear us up on some of the things.
Starting all sorts of drama before hiatus.
Yeah, but that's what happened. You know, I told you, even though I said I came with PMA, like here I am starting drama.
Fucking. I just watched the Filmage. Like, the documentary for the first time ever. Like, I didn't know that thing was out even.
I thought I told you about it like months ago that it was out on YouTube. But
Filmage?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I watched it on Prime. It was
okay, because
yeah,
you don't like watching stuff on YouTube, do you?
No, it's just YouTube sucks. Even though like that's where we exclusively are.
Yeah.
I fucking hate it. I hate how like they've proliferated commercials everywhere. I hate like how they're censoring shit, certain shit. I don't know.
And you still haven't watched Pump Up the Volume, which what the fuck? Like the greatest movie of all time, possibly.
Like, I got this
besides Gummo. Yeah, we could have a movie night after we work on our projects.
Movie night or just a movie list. We can go through them.
And then good thing Chris ain't here to say like we gotta watch Rock and Roller Night or Kiss Goes to the Opera. That's what he would be. That's what he would be suggesting.
He's not even here, and you keep on.
I know. That's why I purposely did it.
Okay, well, don't anymore.
I'm just staying on brand here. That's part of the character. So, anyways, how did you feel about Filmage?
I learned a lot. Like, I didn't know he had a brain tumor. That was fucking crazy, just how that whole thing went down.
And for our audience now, it's Bill Stevenson, the drummer of Descendants,
Yeah,
the main songwriter and backbone of the band.
Yeah, as drummers typically are. Good drummers typically are.
Man, I walked into that one.
Yeah. And then, I don't know, like, I mean, during that era, in, like, the mid-90s, when I was getting into, like, Descendants, I didn't know all was the Descendants as well.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know that until years later.
And I do recall, like, being, like, when we were going to them early warps at LaSalle Park, like, the one year all played, and then the next year the Descendants played.
Yeah. See, I remember the Descendants playing. I don't remember all playing.
And I can't remember who the vocalist was. Like, I don't know if it was the... I don't know which one it was. Whatever one in that time period.
It was awesome to see them, like, 3 years ago.
But then, yeah, that's something else to bring up. They finally get together and get out on a tour, and we get to go see them at the Riverworks, and it was, like, the second show of their tour.
Well, I don't know.
I think it was... And I feel, because, like, when they started, I feel it took them 2 or 3 songs to, like, really get the groove. But once they fucking found it...
Yes!
Because, you know, it was, like, a little off at first, and then all of a sudden, like, 4 songs in, the groove was there, and they were just fucking crushing.
Okay, you know what? I totally forgot about that until you mentioned it, and I remember them playing, and just being like, oh, fuck, is this it?
Yeah,
because... Is it finally over?
That's it. That was my exact reaction, too, because I was like, oh, man, I don't want to use the word cringy, but it was close to it, you know? Like,
it was
like, what's going on here? But then as soon as they found that groove, like, by the end of the show, everyone just, like, fucking blown away. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what happened there, but that whole, like, dynamic of that show was fucking crazy.
I think it was one of their first shows on that tour.
Yeah.
That was.
And where they came out, played extra songs, like, longer, and then we had the lucky fortune of the dude from Buffalo was one of the all singers, was in the crowd, so they came out and did like 4 all songs.
Yeah.
And then came back and still did like 2 more songs.
Yeah.
And I remember like the Rad Ops guys, like Steve and Jim, going to...
Chris is in Rad Ops too?
I remember them being there, and I remember us like... And then weren't we getting like free pizza and popcorn from the vendors too, that they were just giving away at the end of the night?
I don't remember that.
I kind of feel like that was happening, so it was fucking
But
solid.
I was feeling pretty toasty by the end of that night.
Were you gummied up? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we did eat some gummies out in the parking lot.
We ate a bunch of edibles, and then I was drinking a lot in there, too.
And didn't Bear drive by in his truck with, like, a bag of mushrooms? Like, we saw him on the road while we were standing in the parking lot.
Yeah.
I feel like that happened, too.
I forgot about that, too.
You know what else was even awesomer, though? When we seen the Lemonheads, like, what, like 10 years ago? Or 7, 8 years ago?
No, it was at least 10 years ago now. I think it was 2011, maybe? I got this stuff somewhere.
And who was the fucking backing band for Evan Dando? Bill and Carl. Like, we had the fucking Descendants fucking rhythm section.
For the Lemonheads, which is, like, one of my favorite 90s bands.
Yeah.
Then one of my other favorite, like, punk bands. Combined.
Yeah. And, like, you wouldn't look at the two of them and be like, how do these dudes even know each other? Like, why are the Descendants fucking playing with the Lemonheads? Makes fucking no sense, but it was awesome.
Yeah.
And then
then they used one of the Lemonheads' New Year songs in Filmage.
Oh, yeah.
It was in there.
So they must have a little...
Yeah. Well, I think it was after the tour that they put out Filmage. I don't know what year that came out, but...
It came out within the, like, I want to say, like, 2015 or 16.
Okay. Yeah, so it was well.
They were premiering it at theaters for a while before there was a release anywhere. Kind of like the Sublime documentary that's been out for 2 years that no one's seen yet. I don't know.
Sublime documentary?
Yeah, like this award-winning documentary filmmaker made this whole new fucking Sublime documentary. And they took it to all these fucking film with like new footage and shit. Took it to film festivals. And it's not out yet. It's been 2 years.
Oh, so they just can't find a distributor?
There's some going on with distribution, but I mean, I'm sure they can find one. I don't know what the fine details are about
they're
it.
probably waiting for something newsworthy to happen Sublime-wise. And then, like, 3 months later, they're all out to done.
And then there was even an interview with Miguel saying, you know, there is some actual unreleased Sublime shit that might be coming out that no one knows about. And then people were just releasing the acoustic videos, the full acoustic videos of Bradley jamming with Miles and Kyle in their mom's house. Yeah. Back when they were like from Slightly Stupid when they were teenagers.
No shit.
And so there's like that video, and then there's another one in that house where he's just jamming alone. It's got like a new song on it and a couple new covers no one's heard.
Yeah, Slightly Stupid, like, that was the first band that was signed to Skunk Records, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, Bradley, like, personally discovered them when they were, like, 16, 17 years old. Like, Miles and Kyle, like, grew up across the street from each other since they were little babies and had a little punk band, and I think Bradley was actually, like, in rehab, and one of their moms was one of the rehab nurses, and, you know, it's Long Beach, so they know Sublime and shit, so I think she gave him, like, a tape, like, oh, these are my boys fucking jamming, and then, like, he took him under his wing. So that's like direct lineage. So I always feel like Slightly Stupid's like the direct lineage of fucking Sublime. And then just watching how their shows have evolved over the years. I think the first time I seen them was in like 2006.
All right, I'm putting you on the spot. Slightly Stupid or Dirty Heads?
Slightly Stupid or Dirty Heads? Like as a whole, or which area?
White Boy Reggae group are you down with the most?
That is tough. Like, if we're looking at the whole catalog, I would say Slightly Stupid. If we're looking at individual albums, Dirty Heads. Live is kind of a toss-up at this point. It's almost like it's a razor-thin edge. I don't know which way it would go. Because the last two times I've seen Dirty Heads, like, their live show was phenomenal.
I feel like the Dirty Heads is like, who was that rap rock band that was like mid-90s popular, like Jurassic 5 or some shit like that?
There was Jurassic 5, but it wasn't really a rap rock band. That was just like 4 MCs and 2 DJs.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. But it was just kind of like, I don't know, I see their shows being like along that vein.
No, I mean, like, they've really come into themselves. Like, like I said, their last 2 shows I went to, they had finally figured out what they were doing. Like, Slightly Stupid, obviously, they figured it out a while ago. The thing I would lose points on Slightly Stupid for is, like, they have such a deep and prolific catalog. I wish they would pull out more deep cuts or switch their sets up. I mean, they're kind of like on autopilot with their sets. I mean, they jam the fuck out, and it's fucking good vibes. It's fucking, you're smoking, you're having a good time, they're fucking killing it. I mean, that is a real tough question. Like I said, overall, Slightly Stupid with a more of an edge, but I mean, the first 3 or 4 Dirty Heads albums are fucking amazing, and I don't know how much time you've actually put into listening to them. Like,
I mean, like when they came out, like, I don't know, I gave them some time. I just felt like, I don't know, like fucking Half Pint, Sister Nancy, Yellow Man. That's like that fucking real good fucking dope, right? That's that pure fucking, that's that pure shit. Sublime's like tar.
yeah.
And I feel like fucking Slightly Stupid and Dirty Heads are like methadone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just how I fucking look at it.
I mean, I don't know. When they came out and, you know, it's just, you know, Dirty B and Dirty J, the fucking acoustic guitars and rapping over them and just talking about fucking shit that's relevant to us. Like, I mean, it's a whole fucking...
But I always thought they're lyrically, they didn't really fucking dedicate themselves as much as they should have.
No, and, like, lyrically, they're better than Slightly Stupid. I mean, not only because of the rapping, but I mean, they have, and there's actually this awesome video of Miles from fucking Slightly Stupid playing a fucking Dirty Head song. That's fucking amazing. Like, an amazing crossover. I love it. Yeah.
It's like the fucking...
I think he's playing Monsters of the Lake, which was on their acoustic album. Well, I mean, they're all acoustic albums, but they had, like, a campfire acoustic album. Like, each album's got its own little thing going on. There was a point where I was getting a little worried about the Dirty Heads because they started going off in this weird, like... Poppy.
Yeah, that's what happens to those bands when they gotta pay the bills.
I don't want to bring up the name of Rome from Eric Wilson and Rome show, but plays the hits of Sublime. But the first Eric Wilson and Rome album wasn't too bad. Like, I'm not listening to it and thinking this is
Bug was drumming for them.
Yeah.
Still, yeah.
Like, it was good. Like, there was no...
I listened to it. There was admirable qualities to that album. But it wasn't a Sublime.
No,
album,
nothing in my.
There's no fucking rapping on it whatsoever.
There was Wiz Khalifa on the track.
Yeah, but Rome doesn't rap at all. Like he doesn't.
Well,
he doesn't spit like that cadence that separated Sublime from.
I don't look at Sublime with Rome as even Sublime. Like I said, it's the Eric Wilson and Rome show, playing the hits of Sublime. Which I get it, you know, get out there. People want to hear the songs. You know, Eric needs fucking money for motorcycles and tattoos and weird hats and shit. Like, I get it.
I love it that they did get the reception they got, like coming back out just like under the Sublime banner. But then I was like, all the kids that are into it are like club kids, which I always thought was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like,
what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, well, what's up with the club kids nowadays where they're into like Sublime? Like, I don't know.
Maybe because it's real bass heavy. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Okay. I don't know enough club kids or anything about that scene to really have anybody to ask about it. But at no point did I ever see Sublime with Rome and like think like I've saw him a couple times. Like it's fun. You want to hear the songs. Like you want to have the fucking hang out with like a bunch of people want to hear the songs too. You know, it's a fucking good vibe. Like you're smoking, chilling. Whatever, but at no point did I ever say, oh, this is the continuation of Sublime. Like, if anything, Long Beach Dub All-Stars would have been that. Especially the original incarnation, which was, you know, everybody in their posse had played on records or been around them, and even Opie, who's their tattoo artist, and Homeboy, like, designing their logos and shit, being the singer.
And I kind of think that that's where that all fell apart, is they tried to incorporate everyone.
Yeah.
Like, it was too messy, it wasn't cohesive. And, like, that's why it didn't really take off.
That'd be like getting all of our close friends together and trying to fucking do anything.
Yeah.
Like,
unless it's, like, drink beer and fucking pound food, then...
Yeah, which, I mean, which a lot of that happened, but even then it gets fucking messy after too much beer and too much food and too many people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so Dirty Heads, like that, what was it, Take Warning was the name of the Sublime with Rome album. Not bad, had its own things. Nowhere in my brain does it say this is a continuation of Sublime. This is just this little fucking kid that... was in a Guitar Center and somebody told him to fucking meet Eric Wilson and whatever. There's a new article that just came out within the last couple days that said that MCA Records was pressuring Bud and Eric 2 weeks after Bradley's death that they needed to find a new singer and get out on the road and tour because they wanted that album.
Well, MCA's not even around anymore, right?
No.
Yeah.
But, so that was so, whatever. Yeah. But the Dirty Heads went into a direction that started, like, the first Rome and Sublime album was alright. It had its moments, whatever. But then Rome put out, like, this solo shit. And it's just this weird fucking poppy, like, whatever the kids are, like, I don't know, like, that band 21 fucking Pilots.
Yeah,
that kind of sounds a little bit like the Dirty Heads, but it's, like, a real poppy, real weird thing. And, like, I'm not going to diss on the band too hard. Like, I don't really know their songs, but I know, like, people like them. And I think the lead singer, like... does shit for mental health and suicide prevention and shit, so like I respect that. Kind of the same.
God knows we need some of that.
I know. kind of the same way like I feel about Linkin Park. Like I never got into Linkin Park. Like they got some songs I don't turn them on the radio, turn them off when I hear them, but I don't go out of my way to listen to them. But I respect the shit out of that band because I know so many people personally, and just people in general, like really needed that fucking band. And, like, listening to Chester and his fucking screams and whatever, like, meant a lot to a lot of people. So, I can respect it. And I actually just watched a video right around the time I was watching all this Green Day shit. It was the other dude from Linkin Park, like, the rappy dude or whatever. And I think it was right after Chester committed suicide. And he was playing at a festival.
Allegedly.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna... We need not Chris to not be here and the real Chris to be here to get into the conspiracies because he'd have a lot of things to say about that. So I picture him being a fucking closet Linkin Park fan. Like Chris probably knows all the lyrics. Not Chris doesn't know all the lyrics. But anyways, he was the rappy guy was like playing the piano and like whatever festival they were playing at, and they got the whole fucking crowd, like he's singing his parts and then like the whole crowd singing the Chester parts, and that was a pretty fucking sweet, touching moment. So I respect it.
Yeah. Let's talk about other things that we can talk about now that Chris isn't here, like Buffalo Sabres.
Oh yeah,
making some fucking
the Sabres are making
waves.
Are we gonna get Chris to watch hockey this year?
I think so. I think he'll be into it.
Yeah. And then
if we watch hockey the way we watch hockey.
Oh yeah. Which is like wait till about 8:30 so we can fast forward through all the commercials.
No, I don't DVR sports anymore.
What?
Yeah. Because I know I was on that train right away as soon as I could. Because it takes away from the experience. Like back then, like you didn't have Facebook constantly like spoilers, and so like you just can't get away from scores popping up and like tickers.
So now you're now about the real time experience.
Now I do real time experience. I dedicate like I plan my day so I don't have to do anything else in between. Like while I'm watching the game, there's a commercial break or intermission. I go and I can do whatever. It's like it's enjoyable. Like
So you're enjoying the experience, and you started fucking shoveling your driveway after how many like. Don't think I didn't notice the first fucking day me and Chris pulled in when it's the first day it snowed and your shit was plowed out. I was like, holy fuck, like. All right, yeah. So don't think it's the fucking pandemic is the reason why like you didn't shovel your fucking driveway. We used to.
Dude, I didn't travel for like 18 fucking months. It was amazing. Like I've never been home that much in my life.
Let's think back to like when the Sabres were good and we were watching hockey 4 nights a fucking week and your homies are coming over and we're having band practices for 1 or 2 different bands and you got traffic coming in and it's fucking middle of wintertime and your shit wasn't plowed then.
It didn't need to be. I had a Nissan Pathfinder, fucking off-road edition.
What do you got? 4 different vehicles?
Jeep Grand Cherokee, like
4. You got your friends showing up 4 times a week. You didn't need. And then what happens that one day?
I was making tracks.
And then the one day Charlie fucking goes up the hill and fucking into the ditch.
He crashed into the ditch.
No, there was a ditch right out front. We were out there pushing it.
Did we?
Yeah. Did he crash into another ditch too?
Yeah, up at Dave Road and Chestnut Ridge over there, that intersect, that light.
Oh yeah.
This is years ago. He was
actually. But he definitely went off the ditch trying to pull out of here.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah. And then you're like,
going out of it too.
And don't say it's not because I didn't have a snowblower. You had a fucking snowblower as a porch decoration for a fucking decade or more. Middle of summer, the shit's got fucking plants and shit growing out of it. Middle of February, it's the dead plants are just fucking covered on, grown up inside the shit.
Yeah.
So hockey this year, hopefully, because, you know, we've had a good team on paper for fucking years. I don't buy this bullshit that we've been as bad as we are, other than, like...
Oh, I buy it.
The toxic culture. You know, and I thought about this last night when I was driving home from work. It's almost like working where I work, where it was just so much fucking chaos. Like, you have potential that should be good on paper, but with no fucking... right leadership, and then you bring in all these fucking coaches that were supposed to be for like developing players. Like, what the fuck happened there? How are players not being developed? And like, all of a sudden you got like you're benching Skinner on like fucking power plays when that, you know, he's fucking needed there, and just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, they have terrible ownership. Like they did not hire the right people. They switched him at the wrong times. Like, Botterill got forced into bad contracts. He made some bad deals. But the thing is, you don't know how much Terry and Kim had on all those calls. Like, the word is they forced him to sign both the Skinner contract and the Eichel contract. He didn't want to do either of them.
And
you know, so and I mean that
you got to bring in the right people and like turn it around. Like let the people you hire turn it around, like they did with the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, it's been ugly. I mean, that last coach, Kruger, like, he was a charlatan.
Yeah,
like, he came in promising the world and didn't do shit.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I get it. Like, you're trying to do like sports science, real time analytics, and all that.
No, they don't.
That's what he was.
Analytics.
That's what he was trying to do. He thought he was doing real time analytics, and they were using like all these new fucking
analytics department has been notoriously bad. That was why.
No, I meant from the coach's perspective. Like, he was doing his own like real time fucking.
No, he was just a cheerleader. Is really all he was. He didn't know how to run a practice, I guess. Like, they weren't working on things they should have been working on. Like you said with Skinner. Like, they got this guy, paid him a bunch of money, and then didn't use him the way they used him when he scored 40 fucking goals. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so it's just a complete mess. And then I feel like the Risto trade, we fucking housed Philly for that one.
Big time.
Give us a first and a second and a defenseman.
Yeah. Yeah,
like
next year, too. Next year's going to be the better draft.
And I'm up in the air on the Reinhardt. He was probably my favorite player on the team. So, like, I knew
he wasn't going to sign.
Oh, I know he wasn't going to sign. I know he didn't want to play.
Did you see the comments that he made?
No, I didn't.
So he said he was disappointed that all his contracts in Buffalo were such short contracts.
He signed them bridge deals though. Like I feel like he signed them because he had hope that something was going to turn around.
Well, no, I don't think it had anything to do with that. I think he was just asking for way too much money this entire time.
Oh.
And the Sabres were never going to give it to him. Now, Florida just signed Sam Bennett for 4 years. It's like $4.4 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, which is pretty reasonable. At that rate, what's Reinhart going to get? Like, I don't see Florida offering him more than like 6.5.
Yeah.
7, like he'll be happy with a 7-7.
I could see him at a 7.
Yeah.
At least
he could sign an 8 because he's a RFA, so he could technically sign an 8.
He's not playing for no less than 6 anywhere.
No, I think $6 million. He's a $6 million hockey player. I think he's a $6.5 million hockey player. I don't think he's 7. And the thing is, he's put up points, and he did it without Eichel too, on a bad Sabres team. So he found his gear. He's in his prime right now for sure. I'm just curious what they're gonna pay for him.
I'm kind of curious to see how the Eichel saga plays out here. Like, I get it.
Well, like, even before Eichel, what about the return on the Reinhart deal?
Oh yeah, that's what I want to get. That's where I'm uneasy at yet. Like, getting a first rounder for Risto, but we get and I don't know much about this prospect goalie either.
So I didn't at all until I saw the trade. And then I'm fucking sold.
You're sold on it?
I'm sold. This kid in 2 years
like
is
I've seen some of his
competing for #1 job.
I've seen his some of his stats and shit, and the shit he was putting up in juniors, but I didn't like see any highlights or nothing.
Well, I saw highlights for the World Juniors because that was his like coming out tournament. Like he just crushed it. He had like a .75 goals against average, like a 97 save. It was stupid numbers that he had for save percentage. In the off season, he is from Quebec, so he's up there training with all these NHL players. He's been training with NHL players since he was like 14 years old.
Really?
Yeah, so he's like
up
there. Like he is just a workhorse. He wants to play. Like we may have our next Dominic Hasek in this kid.
Oh, nice.
But Florida already had their guy.
Oh
right?
yeah.
So Spencer Knight, I think is his name or something like that. And then another goalie too. So this was like this kid. Like, yeah, he's a great prospect.
No, so
they have room for him. We might have got a steal on this one.
Yeah.
And then that 2023 is lottery protected, which pisses me off. I don't
is
feel.
It?
Yeah. If it's a top 10, we get bumped to 2023.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's a TBD. We won't know the value of that until Reinhart signs an extension.
Yeah, and
what it is. But the thing is, if Reinhart doesn't sign an extension, he goes somewhere else. We won that trade.
Oh yeah.
And then the Eichel thing.
Which I don't know. I get it. Like we brought him in, we didn't give him the shit he needed, and now he's injured, and there's the back and forth between the fucking medical staff and whatever. You can see it from both sides, but I feel like the town is ready to part ways with him. Like everyone's just kind of mad at each other, and that's time to move on. I'd really like to see like more of a one-on-one kind of deal. Like get something of his caliber in return, maybe even with the same terms. Like I haven't paid enough attention to hockey in the last few months to get all the insiders, like who's disgruntled and wants out and whatever needs as fast pace of scenery.
Well, it's a weird season just because of the expansion draft, Kraken and everything. There's a ton of really good free agents out there. I don't know if there's anyone on that kind of deal. I mean, there are guys that are looking out, or Patrick Laine. They don't know if he's going to sign in Columbus again. Those negotiations, I guess, just started yesterday. But yeah, I don't know. I think everyone's just real sick of Sassy Jack.
Yeah. And then plus another thing that happened is we just had an even longer drought with the Buffalo Bills being a complete joke of a team and shitty, and they just fucking found a way to turn it around. So I think a lot of people's excitement right now is all right, we don't have the energy to fucking be sad about how shitty the Sabres are when we have fucking Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, and we're one game away from a Super Bowl after fucking being at the bottom of the pack for 20 fucking years.
I'll tell you what, hockey fans and season ticket holders are pissed right now. They are pissed. The word is that Pergulas are looking to sell the team.
Really?
They're not necessarily looking to sell the whole franchise. but majority stake to somebody that knows more about running hockey operations.
Why would the season ticket holders be pissed about that?
Well, no, that they're not pissed about. They're just pissed about the fucking franchise.
Just pissed in general.
No matter how good the Bills are. But,
no, I'm just saying, like, with the Bills being finally turning it around and being excited and people wanting to watch the games, especially after the season we just had last year, like, no one's gonna be putting attention to the dumpster fire that we've had going here since, you know, the Breer Drury days.
Oh yeah, you have not been paying attention then, because everyone is paying attention. So ESPN now has the broadcasting rights.
Well, I see
they were goofing on.
Oh, I mean,
the Sabres.
I know, but I'm just saying.
NHL Network goofing on.
Yeah,
the
people are
Sabres.
paying attention. You know, talk shit about it, but I'm just saying, like, you're not gonna spend your time watching a fucking game. You know, you're gonna get blown out when you could be focusing all your efforts on football. The Tales of a Two-Sport Town.
I love football, but I fucking hate football.
Why is that?
First of all, I don't think it's structured well. I think the rosters are way too small for the type of game that they play. And you have guys that are playing hurt, like, way too much. And so...
But that's why, if someone's out on an IRL, you can pull people off your practice squad.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I don't know. For me, there's too much variation week to week on a team. Like, who's in, who's out, who's hurt on the opponent's defense, who's in, who's not hurt anymore on the opponent's offense. Like, there's so many different, like, who's healthy, who's not, who's hot right now, who's not. And then just fantasy sports. Like, I did it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But, dude, what a complete fucking waste of time, and what a douchey fucking thing to be a part of.
What, fantasy football?
Fantasy sports.
Fantasy sports?
Yeah.
I mean, I do it here and there, but I'm not fucking douchey. I'm not insane about it.
It's douchey. If you're on more than one fantasy football team, you're a fucking douchebag.
Yeah, and people are on it because, you know, they want the fucking, whatever the payout's gonna be. It's usually what it is.
Yeah, but, I don't know. It's fucking, at this point, it's just not even fun anymore.
I mean, it could be. I mean...
Dude, you can't have a good fantasy football team and do anything else in real life.
Yeah.
Like, there is so much that happens. Like, one guy trades, like, you gotta pull off trades with other people when they're available. You gotta see who's injured. Like,
and it gives some people something to do that might need something to fill, like, don't have other hobbies.
They should probably, learn a fucking skill or
how many
useful hobby.
This is shit I've thought about, too. Now think of, like, most of the people you know, or all the people you know that are in your circle of people. How many people actually have a fucking hobby? Like, an actual hobby, like...
All of them?
All of them.
Yeah.
No, I mean, think a little bit harder, though.
Well, I hang out with a bunch of musicians.
Well, I mean... I'm thinking, aside from that, like, think of other people, like, out, like, your other friends and shit of people that aren't, like, necessarily your musician friends, like, your average people. I'm not going to sit here and name names of people, but you can kind of figure it out.
So, a lot of people have a hobby, but only that one hobby. Like, a lot of people, like, try to identify with just one thing. Like, they want to be known for, like, like, I'm a biker, I got a motorcycle, so I ride motorcycles, and everything's motorcycles all the time. Like, I'm a pothead, everything's about pot, and pot's cool,
But I'm thinking, when I say hobby, like, you know, there's a lot of, like, oh, I ride the motorcycle, or oh, I smoke pot, but people that are, like, going off and devoting time into something just for the devotion of that to enrich themselves. Like, not necessarily, like obviously, like, your wife's in the plants and planning and stuff, and you play drums. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, the average people, like, other, like, I don't want to name names, but who has, like, people we know, like, that are going out and just doing something out of the norm for the sake of doing it and making their lives better and having a distraction away from real life. That's what I consider hobby.
Okay.
And, like, granted, you hang out with fucking people that play music. That's a hobby.
Yeah.
But there's also a good number of people out there that don't really have hobbies.
I think everyone has a hobby, even if it's, like, church.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I guess our definitions of hobby are a little different.
What are we even fucking talking about again?
I don't know. I was talking about people. I was saying, like, most people don't have, like, a legitimate hobby.
I think everyone has a hobby. I don't know anyone who doesn't have a hobby.
Okay, or maybe a better hobby or a more prolific hobby or fucking something more enriching, I suppose.
I don't think fantasy sports is a hobby.
Like, what do you think it is?
I think it's a different form of jerking off.
With possible cash prizes.
Yeah.
I think you're just bent out of shape because I'm thinking of like band practices may have been canceled because certain members of bands we were in had to take off for fucking fantasy football drafts and shit like that.
I do remember that.
And like to go up to your boys and be like, oh, I can't hang out and have our band practice because I got to go to fantasy football draft. That is pretty fucking douchey.
Dude, I don't know. Like, if you have 3 fantasy football teams, don't try to talk to me about anything you have an opinion on unless it's about fantasy football. Because I know you ain't spending time on anything fucking else. Yeah.
There's a lot of fantasy football hate here.
I just think it's
like, I think
it's become ridiculous. It's become absolutely stupid. Like, I can't even like watch a football game without like 14 different scroll bars happening at different speeds.
Telling you all the
telling
stats.
me some bullshit stats about games I don't give a fuck about.
Yeah.
Like, if you're really the one caveat I'll make to that statement is if you're a die-hard football fan, like, that's the one thing that's awesome about fantasy football is like you're into stats like all the time if you're doing it right. And so like memorizing and learning stats that have that expertise, like, that's legitimate. But I would say that, I don't know. I just, anyone's opinion about sports is garbage.
Yeah.
Even my own.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the culture of sports. So I mean that's what makes it fun. Is you can have an opinion on something, someone else can disagree.
But everyone else is wrong about it. That's what fucking pisses me off the most.
I think you've been spending too much time on some chat rooms or something
dude,
around
like brutal. Like this.
That's
like I got hard back into hockey this year because I know it's just a matter of time till the Sabres are good, and I kind of want to see what steps they're taking right now.
So then you can call other people for abandoning the team when they do get good and be like, "What the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah.
You weren't here for the fucking 12-52 season."
No, not even like that. Just like, oh yeah, that guy's gonna fucking do something. That Levi goalie dude. Like, just digging into that. I saw his highlights. You should definitely check out his World Junior highlights.
So you're not getting ready to start your fantasy hockey team yet?
No, dude, that's another. It's just.
There's
looked at those leagues, and they're just a pain in the ass to follow.
You know what? CBC does a pretty simple one, and also free to join. It also offers up cash prizes. I usually do it every year. I didn't do it last year.
CBC?
Yeah, the Canadian television.
If you win, you won't even be able to collect.
Maybe you can.
You're not a Canadian citizen.
I'm sure there's a lot of Americans that are playing the shit. At least
not collecting the grand prize, just like 102.1.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably drive up and get it.
No, you gotta be a citizen. Like it says, like, usually in those things. Like, you gotta be a Canadian citizen.
So, yeah, I don't know. So,
You've been playing for all these years.
Well, my team, I've never been in the fucking money board, so I wasn't there to know. I guess if I would have won some fucking money. It's not like fucking horse racing, which I was kind of like grown up in the fucking horse racing world because my family had owned horse races for the first half of my life, and while normal kids are out learning how to like play baseball and fucking basketball, I'm learning how to fucking bet on fucking horses.
It definitely explains the fucking outfit today.
Yeah, and it's weird. I thought about like I've spent more time at fucking OTBs and racetracks than I did at like going to fucking games and like football games and doing like actual sports. It's kind of weird.
And bars even.
Yeah. No, I grew up in bars.
Oh yeah, because OTB. Well, I don't.
Well, no, when I was a little kid, like my grandma used to cart me around the bars and shit. Be a little kid drinking fucking scotch, like 4 years old, at the bar. That's why I don't drink. That's one of the reasons why I don't drink. But yeah, so they used to have a lot of betting tournaments and shit, and as soon as I turned 18, like my dad's like taking me, I get my own fucking gold fucking OTB betting card, and fucking we used to go to these tournaments all the time, and like I was obviously too young to play. Then when I was 18, let's go here, all across New York State to the fucking racetracks, and I've done pretty well for myself. It's not something I've ever even sat down and told too many people either. But I've won some handicapping contests. I actually won I think it was like 19 or 20, and fucking set like the record at the time, the biggest fucking win. Because I fucking the way they have these things set up, you go to these contests and like you get a fictitious bankroll, you get to win, place, or show, like race 2 through 12, and then like the top 3 fucking money winners. There's a certain amount you have to bet on each race. And I had this fucking horse that was 70 to 1, and I fucking put like half my bank on him, and fucking then we went to the state finals. And
did you pick on the win?
What's that?
Did you pick on the win, or did you do a
place?
Okay.
I placed him, so if he came in second or first, and he won, it was still a huge fucking payout. Like I was fucking thousands ahead of everybody else, and like people were legitimately pissed off that like those 20 like the old fucking cigar smoking dudes. We ended up going to this fucking state championship, and I think that was out in Irondequoit or somewhere out past there, like past Rochester, but before like the Deep Finger Lakes. And I ended up fucking deep. Ended up fucking taking third place in the state championships. Won $1,000 cash.
Oh shit!
And this was in 2000. Because I only remember this because I got the $1,000, drove straight out to fucking Jackson Music because I was going to buy a fucking guitar, and they were fucking closed. And then I ended up buying Bill's guitar off of him for like $100 and some fucking weed.
Nice.
So like, my first guitar kind of came about from winning fucking horse racing money. And that's just from playing the contest. Like when me and Vicky first started dating, we were going to the track all the time, and I showed her how to play ponies, and like, we could walk out with some fucking cash. So yeah.
Yeah, when I was living in Albany, like I was in Saratoga a couple times a month, you know.
Yeah, and I'm pissed about this derby. Like I saw the payout. I probably wouldn't have picked the horse, but there's been a couple like me and Vicky used to meet my dad and his wife out at like we're at different tracks around on Derby Day for years, and have a little Derby Day or a little Preakness Day or Belmont Day. And the one year me and her cleaned up, and it was sweet because we were like low on funds at that point in the month, and we fucking walked out with hundreds on a minimal investment on 2 different like I had somebody place in a win, and she had a place in a win, and mine placed and hers won, and they were both high odds, so we fucking banked out on that. It was nice.
So are you a mint julep fan?
I've never had a mint julep.
What?
Because I've never been to.
You can't say that you're a race guy.
Only because I've never been to Kentucky. But would I go to the Derby and have a mint julep? Yes, I fucking would. No. Would I wear a sweet fucking hat with flowers and shit? I probably would.
Yeah, you see a lot of that up in Saratoga.
Do you?
A lot of it. Yeah,
and you know, like
their big hats.
They do that at the local tracks too, but I don't know. I don't trust the quality of their mint juleps because normally it's just fucking tap beers. So like they're bringing in all the shit like. Yeah. There's no like top shelf bar where you can, you know, grab some liquor or whatever. And now on to some douchey things, since we were talking about fucking what you consider douchey being fantasy football. And you asked me this. I seen a Facebook memory today from like 7 years ago when I was working in a hotel, and it basically said, and we'll put it here. I haven't done this today. We'll put it there, but a busload of cock rock Dbags showing up to my hotel, and I had a jacuzzi suite, but I didn't rent it out to them, but if they punk rockers, I would have. Basically what the memory thing said. And then you're like asking me what the band was, so I had to like think about it for a second. I never knew what the band was, but how this went down. Now, first of all, worked in a hotel for a few years. If you're a band, like I'm the dude you want working at the fucking front counter because I'm sympathetic. Like I get it. So you pull up like I'm your guy. And I worked there for a couple years, and it wasn't nothing special of a hotel, but I did have this like emo rappers from Philly. I think they're called Moosh and Twist. Moosh and Twist. Like they don't have no like I haven't seen them mainstream, but they did have like a couple million subs on YouTube at the time. They were they were little kids too, like 19, 20 years old. And they happened to come in, gave them a jacuzzi suite at fucking 50% off, because the owner would always want to fucking. The hotel only had 2 jacuzzi suites. He's overcharging on these fucking rooms, but I had he'd overcharge on them so I could fucking talk people down and get whatever price I felt comfortable giving somebody. Like I had that leeway. So it's always the last 2 rooms that are fucking usually available if somebody hasn't already booked it out at the way too high price. So, you know, get these little emo rappers in, they pull up in their bus, they got their little CD and shit. I got a copy of their CD signed somewhere. I'm like, alright, yeah, jacuzzi suite, that's all you, $100, like, instead of 300. Because I'm that dude, like, you're on the road, you're just trying to make it. Like, fucking, what the fuck's that band? Coheed and Cambria. We're staying at the hotel, and, like, the lead singer's got, like, this wild-ass hair and shit, and, like, we ended up watching Rocky V in the lobby, eating pizza. Before I left, I made sure they had extra towels, fucking all kinds of shampoos and conditioners.
Yeah, you gotta
like,
look them up after making them watch the worst Rocky movie.
no,
ever.
that was on, and yeah, that was part of the fun. Like while we were watching, that was the only thing on, and they wanted to watch it too, but they wanted to watch it to laugh at. It wouldn't have been my choice.
Yeah.
So
But
like,
yeah, that movie, everyone wants to knock Tommy Gunn out. He's the worst fucking. Oh, that's the worst movie.
yeah, no, it was fucking
The
horrible.
robot.
Yeah.
The robot was fucking terrible.
Horrible. But it was fun. We had a good little time about it. So yeah, so I'm working an overnight, and I'm sitting at my desk, and I see tour buses driving by, and like the road my hotel is on is the exit's right there to get on the fucking 190 and get in and out of town real quickly. So I'm seeing the buses going by, and I'm like, huh, who's fucking playing tonight? Like, I just seen the fucking fleet of buses. It was Danny Carey, the drummer from Tool, is in like some jazz fusion project with some other dudes. I don't even know who.
These are the douche rockers?
No.
Okay.
They were like they were the headlining band. They were playing at the Trelf, and they were all like Danny Carey and the other 2 dudes. Like, I don't know, I can't remember who it was. But they're prolific, so they were each probably had their own fucking tour bus. And then like see the 3 buses go by, don't think nothing of it. Go out and I'm smoking a fucking joint because it's like 12:30 in the morning, and everybody's pretty much checked in, so I got nothing to do but smoke pot and watch Beastie Boys fucking concerts on YouTube. Because the janitor, like, they put a block on our computer so they couldn't watch YouTube, but they figured out a code to fucking unblock it. So whatever. This fucking bus pulls up, and like I'm just standing there smoking. Bus pulls up, and I'm like, who the fuck is, like, what other band is in fucking town? Like, they got a fucking tour bus. What do they fucking even need a fucking hotel for? Door opens. Excuse me, and this dude gets out. Total fucking poser rockstar wannabe dude. Like, straight down to, like, I got the British fucking indie haircut. I got the fucking brand new, like, $250 black denim jacket. Like, the whole costume. That you go to a fucking store like Trash and Vaudeville out in New York City and pay fucking hundreds of dollars to look cool, when you could just go buy the shit at like a thrift store.
Hundreds, you're probably talking thousands.
Yeah. You know, like that outfit,
Yeah.
like this dude just comes in, he's just like so pretentious and like such a rock star. He like stumbles out of the fucking, I'm standing right here by the door smoking this joint, and this dude pulls up, is right where you're sitting pretty much, pops out like just so stereotypical, like stumbles down the stairs, a fucking beer can falls out of his fucking lap onto the fucking ground, and he's acting like, how did that get there? And then he's just like, the sunglasses at night even. It's like 12:30 in the morning, dude. Like, you're on a bus. What do you need shades for? And he's like, oh, you guys got, and I got my fucking orange shirt on with my little name tag. I know, Wiley, you don't fuck up the story. You're talking. And the dude's like, oh, you guys got any rooms open tonight? And I'm thinking, like, I don't even think this dude's really fucking British, but he's even trying to do the fucking, like, rocker British accent. And then fucking, I'm looking at him, and I'm, like, thinking about it, and I'm like, what band are you in? And then he was, like, mumbling some shit, and he was just doing the whole, like, look around, like, he's got his sunglasses, and, like, instead of, like, having a conversation like, hey man, like, we need a room, like, do you got anything open? It's just like, I'm so floaty into the fucking atmosphere, like looking off over his sunglasses and shit, and I'm just thinking,
I'm just like on a different level.
Yeah.
Like when the music is like flowing, man.
And I'm just like, what the like, this is like, you know, we're around punk rockers and shit, and like other dudes like that are just pretty chill and cool. Like I said, like I'm not used to fucking actually conversing with somebody that's like, oh. Kind of reminds me of a certain person that we played a certain show with and how they were acting at that show almost, but they only because they were like it was the same kind of thing. But that's water under the bridge. This person, I'm asking, what band are you in? What's the name of your band? And then he just like mumbled some shit, and then kept looking around, and then like nobody else was like. You'd think at least like the bass player or somebody get off the bus and like stretch out and like bum a light, be like, "Hey, you got a light for my smoke?" Like, you got a bus full of fucking. And then I'm like, "What show did you guys just play?" And then he's like mumbling some other shit, and I'm just like, you know what? Like, I have one. Like, this hotel has 75 rooms. I have 74 rooms sold. This is the legit last fucking room because it's middle of summertime. The owner has it way overpriced, but I can change it to whatever fucking price I want. So, if it's 1 o'clock in the morning and I want to sell this fucking last room for $100 instead of $350, which is the asking price, and if you go online to book it, you're going to have to book it at $350. But you come in and talk to me, if I feel like, hey, $99, go fucking chill in the jacuzzi, then you get to. And I'm
so
like,
did Liam say anything?
I didn't even tell Liam. I wasn't telling Liam this shit. He's just fucking looking around at fucking space and acting like he's a fucking rock star, and I'm trying to find out what band he's in, and he can't even fucking, like, coherently tell me. And like I said, when I saw the first buses going by, I'd already known that the Danny Carey whatever fucking project was in town. So this was like their opening band, and I looked up their name and couldn't even fucking remember who they were. But then I like, because after I was like, no, we're sold out. And then they fucking popped in and like took off. But then I went back in and researched, and like the only thing like off the top of my head I can compare it to is maybe it was at that Lemonhead show that we went to with the fucking Descendants Rhythm section, which is amazing. And remember there was like some fucking shitty, like so posery band was an opening band, like so bad that they were handing out their 3-song fucking demo, and they were wearing the same exact clothes that they had in the picture on the fucking album that they were wearing on stage.
And then they talk to us.
They were coming and talking to us, and like, and we're just like, yeah, man, you guys fucking rocked, and like just juicing them up, like making them. The whole time we're talking shit, but they come out like, yeah, dude, like you guys are like really going places. And actually, like that band ended up fucking playing a show at one of them Lockport shows too.
Yeah.
Wearing the same fucking clothes they were on the CD and when we seen them. So they took their fucking little record advance and bought an outfit at the expensive store and just wore it out as their costume.
Yeah, Inward Eye was pretty sweet.
Yeah, was that the one with the fucking... Was that the name of the band? Or was that a different shitty
No, that was
band?
a different band. That was the second band that played.
Okay.
It was 3 kids from
Oh, yeah.
Montreal or somewhere up there.
Okay, yeah. I thought you were getting confused with another show. Maybe it was a Dinosaur Jr. show where there was a fucking... Another weird shitty band that probably shouldn't have been opening, and the dude thought he was like super sweet, and then we were walking out after the show, and like he was trying to like
MSI.
talk. Was it the MSI?
Yeah, we went and saw MSI,
Okay.
and that opening band was out there. That was terrible.
Yeah, and the dude was like trying to like pick up like 15 or 16-year-old chicks.
Yeah.
And we're like, you better check some fucking IDs, dude. And he's just like, we're talking all this shit while he's trying to kick game, and we're like telling the girl like, get away from that dude. He's a fucking
we were
adult.
fucking goofing on him so hard to
But-
his face, and
No-
he had no idea.
No, and the best part though is like he was so determined like he was gonna like have a girl talk to him that he did not break out of his fucking zone to
Yeah.
like keep talking, and like we were fucking pretty harsh with the fella.
Ew.
Wonder whatever happened to him.
He was walking off with one of those 15-year-olds.
Yeah, fucking A. And I remember yelling like, you better check IDs.
Yeah,
What
that
the
was,
fuck?
That dude was a fucking joke. That was
Then-
a good time.
So what other fucking douchey opening bands? You know, I don't want to, like, I'm not trying to shit on Ill Scarlet at all, because I love Ill Scarlet. See them every fucking time they come to town. And, like, Johnny, the bass player, like, whenever he's in town, you know, we're hanging out, smoking some weed, whatever. But Alex, the lead singer, you're kind of a little bitch, dude.
Oh,
All I'm saying.
Shit, why is that?
Every fucking time we go to see him, like for the one time he was trying to hit on Matt and Charlie's sister, Holly. And she was just like totally, and like he was following her around like a little puppy dog. And then there's another time we're like trying to smoke, and he's just like, I can't, guys, I gotta go eat some pizza. And then another time we're trying to smoke, and he doesn't want to smoke because he just got the van detailed that day. I don't know. Not a douchey band, but it just seemed kind of like a pussy for a band that's all about smoking weed and partying. That's all. No, nothing harsh against Little Scarlet whatsoever. Like I said, I fucking love Little Scarlet.
Me too.
I'm just disappointed.
Except they're fucking like that last.
Yeah, that was.
Fuck, that was.
Yeah.
Fucking figure it out. Like that's
but
bullshit.
They're getting back and they're doing their original shit again.
I saw that.
Like Johnny left the band for a little while. He's back now.
Yeah, they just re-released the song for like the 15-year anniversary of fucking 1A or some shit.
Yes, or the All Day With It Now EP.
Yeah, maybe that was it.
So yeah, nothing but love for Little Scarlet, but yeah, figure it out.
Figure it out. Fucking get a good producer too. Whoever fucking took those fucking great fucking demo songs.
Oh, I know.
And fucking ruined them for those fucking albums. Like that was fucking infuriating.
Yeah, like Little Scarlet, we love you, but what
Figure
the fuck?
it out.
Figure it out. So yeah, I don't know. We are, like I said, we're gonna be fucking taking some time off. We got some things that we got to do in our little short time period here, so we'll be hitting you with some clips for a couple weeks. We have a Is that what we're talking about? The GoFundMe.
Fuck yeah.
Got a little GoFundMe thing going on because we need to get out in the field and do some of these things that we're talking about. We need to upgrade our equipment, but you know, I got a kid and Chris has a drug habit, so we need some real money. And like I said, I'm gonna be willing to get a tramp stamp tattoo for a promotional thing. It's gonna be a fucking Juggalo Hatchet Man on a bullet with butterfly wings that say "Doors at 7, Kitchen at 9." You know, did I explain on the show how the very first time I fucking listened to ICP was on my way to the fucking...
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it makes sense.
You've come full circle.
And, like, if there was a big donor, like, I'd be even willing to do, like, photorealistic dolphins, too, as a side piece.
Photorealistic dolphins. Dude, you... like, crossing each other in the background of the butterfly.
Jumping through the fucking...
That is a fucking work of art. That could be a whole, like... lower back piece.
Yeah. Like, I'd be willing to do that. You know, we gotta... One of the things in our little break here is we gotta work on some promotion, so it's not just the people on my Facebook friends list watching the show. We gotta branch it out a little bit, but... Anyways, Chris, I hope the fucking vocals are going good. We'll check in with you tonight. Maybe this fucking album will be out before 2025. We'll start calling it the fucking Vietnamese Democracy.
Right.
By the time this fucking thing comes out.
No, we actually were toying with the title American Fascism.
American...
Instead of Chinese Democracy.
Yeah.
American Fascism.
Cringy.
It's like the opposite.
I know.
Chinese Democracy is cringy.
No, it's got... the album definitely is. The title...
it's
like,
not going to be the fucking title, man.
I know.
But let's talk about fucking Chinese Democracy real quick before we go. Axl's gone for fucking 15 years to write this fucking album, right? Has a fucking love song to a fucking hooker. Like, dude.
That's on brand for Guns N' Roses, but
a love song? Come on. He went from fucking, like, It's So Easy to, like, I don't know.
Like, have you seen Axl, though? Like, back in the 80s, like, yeah, he could be going home with all kinds of supermodels. Now you see a picture of him, he might need a hooker. I get it. Sorry, Axl, nothing but love for you, too. But anyways, we are going to not close the kitchen, but we're going to shut the doors on this venue and fucking turn the house lights off.
Wait, we're not changing venues.
No. Because I'm just saying, like, we always say the kitchen is closed, but it doesn't always have to be a kitchen. Sometimes it could be the venue.
The kitchen's in the name, man.
I know. So is
so
the doors.
The kitchen, right?
Alright, whatever. It sounded good to me. The fucking kitchen is now closed.
See you in September.
Like and subscribe.
Cool.